Good afternoon. So we've got lots of interesting things to talk about today on the Star Pod podcast. And with me are two special guests. Our first guest is Captain Trillian Choi, who I'm sure needs no introduction.
Hi, everyone.
And my other guest is Professor Marvin Adams, an astronomer at the Hong Kong Space Observatory.
Lovely to be back again, Ellen.
Okay, so one of the most exciting activities at our adventure camp is the Mars Experience Room, where our children get to feel what it would be like to be on Mars. And it is quite a dangerous place, Mars, from what I can gather. So my first question is, Trillian, what are the dangers of being on Mars and what would kill you?
Well, lots of things.
Extreme.
But one of the first things is there is no oxygen on Mars. So without oxygen, you can't breathe, of course, and so you would die.
Gosh, no oxygen? Not able to breathe? That's scary.
Yeah, it certainly is. So that means you can't walk around on the surface of Mars without a spacesuit.
Right, got it. But what about the temperature on Mars? I've heard it's very cold. Is that right?
Yes, Mars is too cold for humans, definitely. Again, you wouldn't survive. You would freeze to death unless you had a spacesuit on.
Okay, so
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, so basically, you would really need to wear a spacesuit at all times. But even then, if you were wearing a spacesuit, Mars would still be a pretty dangerous place to be.
Really? How so? What other dangers would there be?
Well, there are dust storms.
Dust storms? That doesn't sound so bad. How are dust storms dangerous?
Well, for one thing, it would be very easy to get lost in one of these dust storms.
Getting lost on Mars would be very bad news, I'm sure.
Getting lost on any planet is bad news, even Earth.
Good point. Let's carry on with the topic of planets. Another of our activities at Adventure Camp is about the planet Tarkov. Now, Marvin's a bit of an expert on Tarkov and helped us design the problem-solving activity we run at the camp.
Oh, yes.
So why did you choose Tarkov for the activity?
A good question, Ellen. So imagine, here's a planet which has incredibly extreme seasons, much, much more extreme than anything we would find anywhere on Earth.
Okay, so what would that mean if you were living on Tarkov?
Well, on Tarkov, in the summer, the temperatures are so high that the oceans boil. And this produces huge amounts of steam. So if you were on Tarkov, the steam would kill you in an instant.
Jeepers, that's terrible. Killed by boiling oceans? Ugh. So that's summer on Tarkov, but what about winter? What happens then? I'm imagining it's not going to be good.
Yeah, you're right there. Well, the temperatures would sink so low that the oceans would freeze. The oceans would be frozen solid.
Wow, oceans frozen solid. So that's summer and winter on Tarkov. But what about the other seasons? What about spring and autumn?
Well, that's the amazing thing. You have these extreme winters and summers on Tarkov, but the spring and autumn are really quite pleasant. Average temperatures are like 25 degrees Celsius.
So 25 degrees is like Hong Kong in November. That's a nice temperature.
Exactly.
OK, well, certainly an interesting place, Tarkov. Right. Well, it's also an exciting time for some of our listeners because they've signed up for one of our adventure camps. Now, I hope you don't mind me telling everyone, but Trillian, you actually attended our adventure camp when you were a teenager a few years back, didn't you?
Yes, that's right. You're making me feel old.
So what's the one thing you wish you had taken with you on the camp?
Good question. Sunscreen. Lots of sunscreen. One day, I remember, we spent the morning in the swimming pool and I forgot to bring any. I got so burnt. I hope you remind parents to give their kids sunscreen.
A sunscreen.
We'll certainly remind them to bring sunscreen then. Marvin, you help us at the camp on occasion. What would you recommend that kids bring to adventure camp?
Well, let me see. I remember one boy last year turned up in his school uniform with smart shoes, and we had to call his mum and tell her to bring him comfortable clothes for doing exercise in, and sports shoes. So I would definitely say those two things, comfortable clothes and sports shoes.
And I can help with telling kids what not to bring. A mobile phone. We have a strict no mobile phone policy at the camp. The adventure camp is a no mobile phone zone.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think the no mobile phone policy is great for kids. Without their mobile phones, they can really focus on the activities at hand.
Now, one other thing before we go. It's the Star Pod Open Day coming up soon, later this month. It will be on the 25th of April, and I'm happy to announce that the mystery special guest for the Star Pod Open Day is none other than Trillian Choi. Thank you, Trillian.
So if any of our listeners want to meet me, come to the Star Pod Open Day on... sorry, when was it?
The 25th of April.
Exactly.
Yes, it should be a great day. Now, just in case our listeners need reminding, Trillian is an astronaut, so it's a chance for you kids to meet a real, live astronaut.
Yes, I'm looking forward to answering all your questions.
Trillian is famous because she was, wait till I get this right, the 6th female Asian astronaut.
Yes, it is quite a mouthful, but I am actually very proud of that. I was indeed only the 6th female Asian astronaut to go into space.
And Trillian is also famous, of course, for being a gold medalist at the Olympics.
Yes, that's right.
That must have been a proud moment, winning at the Olympics.
Yes, it was. It really was. But that was many moons ago now, though.
Yes, well, anyway, come and speak to Trillian at the open day and hear more of her stories. OK, so thank you to both my guests today, and we hope to see you soon at StarPod. Bye for now.
That is the end of the listening component of this paper. You will now have 1 hour and 15 minutes